Hey guys, Karex here with another review. This time I'll be doing the GC01 Ghost or Damashii from Ghost. This is the first release in the Ghost Chain series, and is the base set for Ghost. So this set includes three things: the Ghost figure, one Parka Ghost, and one accessory. So let's get started. We'll start by taking a look at the base figure, Ghost Transient. This is the form or state that Ghost assumes before putting on any of the Parka Ghosts to assume one of his Damashiis. So, you'll notice right away that this is a pretty plain figure and distinctly has no face. But looking at it, we can see that the head does actually serve a purpose. As you can see a grid mesh texture to it, which will give the figure a compound eye look when equipped with any of the Parka Ghosts. And taking a look at the figure itself, one of the most distinct things about it is that it is consisted almost entirely of clear plastic. Most of it is clear black plastic, as you can actually see through it. And then there's also a bit of regular clear plastic, and some of it is painted in black, as well as some paint for the orange markings all over his body, and the white markings on his chest. You have the Ghost Driver, which is also done in clear plastic, with a painted orange handle, and clear plastic for the front cover. And you can see they didn't spare any details, or spare any expenses on it, as they did mold in the face underneath the top layer, as well as a molded in generic Ghost icon. And see little bits of silver paint here and there. And the back is almost completely bare. Though from the back you can really see how clear this figure is, or how kind of transparent it really is. Articulation Wise, has a ball jointed head. Arms rotate 360 degrees, go in and out. Have a bicep swivel. Single joint elbows. Wrist rotation. Two separate finger joints. Waist rotation. Legs go forward and back, in and out. Thigh swivel, single joint knees, and ball jointed ankles, which is to be expected of gimmick figures these days. Next, let's take a look at the Ore Ghost and the Gun Saber. So the Ore Ghost is the first of the Parka Ghosts. And for those wondering about the name, while in Western culture the word parka is usually used to describe a heavy winter coat, in Japan it's equivalent to what we would call a hoodie or hooded sweatshirt. And so the Ore Ghost, is being the base form's Parka Ghost, takes the form of a simple black and orange short-sleeved hoodie. So you can see it's entirely made up of a soft flexible plastic with little ripples and folds here and there to give it a cloth-like texture. See a little bit of silver, and of course all the orange trim. For the head section, you actually see a clear plastic piece in here with two painted on orange eyes to give it a nice ghostly feel. A couple of straps dangling down that are kind of like arms. Now what's interesting about this is that this actually has a little bit of articulation. For the sleeve parts, they can swivel up and down on a couple of hinges, and can be rotated and pivoted on ball joints. Additionally, you can rotate the straps, so you can actually pose them a little bit. And it has a little ghostly wisp on the coattail. Then you have the Gun Saber, which, similar to Ghost himself, is done up in a translucent black plastic. And as you can see, all of the details are nicely molded in there, including even the ghost symbols on the front and back of the grip. So very nice. Now, let's equip Ghost with the Aura Ghost for a ghost change. So to repair the Aura Ghost for the combination, what you need to do is rotate the little straps here so they go onto the shoulders. And take this horn here and swivel the entire inner part to reveal the face. And take it, stretch out the front parts so that they'll go over the shoulders. Then lower it onto the body so that this clear part fits over the head. And there are actually a couple of tabs inside of the back that will clip onto the shoulders, so you want to push those into place. And make sure that the head is fully attached. Just get everything situated into place. And there you have Kamen Ghost, or a Damashii. So as you can see, the figure now has a clear orange face with painted black eyes, a single horn, which is painted silver and metallic blue, and now we don't see we don't really fully see through him anymore. Now we have the black piece in the back to cover that up. Of note is that this does slightly hinder his articulation to have him transformed into a Damashii, as because of the way the head works, it can no longer be rotated. It can only be swiveled a bit up and down. Additionally, the shoulder pieces don't quite match up with the shoulders themselves, so you can still swivel them up and down, and the shoulder pieces will move to allow for movement of the arms, so they don't quite line up all the time. So you kind of have to make do and try to adjust to kind of go along with the parka's articulation. Additionally, you can equip him with the Gun Saber. So you can open up the right hand, make sure this piece is facing forward, so that the grip is like this. Place it in the hand and close up the fingers. Though unfortunately the shape is kind of weird, so it's not easy for him to kind of hold it straight. But you can still hold it, and you can still get some poses out of him. And it is a pretty good looking figure. Although really that's just about all you can do with it, is pose him with or without the parka and equip him with the Gun Saber. However, There is a bit of a workaround to the limited head articulation. If we take a look at the Aura Ghost, take a look at the back, you can see this rectangular window here with a piece of plastic sticking out of it. This is actually the clip to which the clear plastic face piece is attached to. So, the way to do this is, basically what you want to do is take your thumb and apply some pressure to that piece. So it'll basically pop out of the socket. So in some cases it might also help to use an object to push it out. Or you would try pulling it out, though you also want to be a little careful. As it isn't the easiest thing to do, and if you're not careful, you could have the piece basically go flying off. So with this detached, we can now reattach the two pieces. So now we have the clear piece and the hoodie. And we can put this on here. So now we can more clearly see the compound eye effect created by the silver part underneath. And then you just attach the ghost parka, or the parka ghost, as normal. Just making sure that the head part doesn't fall off. Like so. Clip it into the shoulders. Just make sure everything's in place. Situated. And now, you actually can rotate the head left and right. Though it is still limited to just how far it can go before the horn clashes with the hood. But it does at least give you more articulation than the figure initially has. And when you're all done with it, you can just line up the head and hoodie and kind of push it back into place. Just like that. Overall, Kamen Rider Ghost or Damashii is a good figure, if not a little bit limited on its own. As I've shown, there isn't too much to it, aside from the figure, the parka ghost, and the accessory. And it does, well, it is unfortunate that when turned into Damashii, he is a little bit limited in articulation, and it's kind of a shame that there's no way to draw back the hood, as often when he's in Damashii, he does have the hood flipped back, but that's unfortunately a product of how they designed the figure, and it would have been nice if there were possibly some changes so that instead of having the hood just be one whole piece that just attached the way it does, it would be nicer if it essentially split into some segments and then attached as armor pieces so that it could move with the figure. It is basically having the coat part, the shoulders, and the head be four separate pieces that would attach, and so you could move the head and shoulders and have the pieces on them still kind of line up and go along with the articulation. But even with the way it is, I think it still would be nice to perhaps have an add-in feature just to kind of make up for the articulation, like perhaps having a built-in LED. As one of the distinct features of Kamen Ghost is that the markings on his suit as well as his face do occasionally light up, especially when he's in the dark or when transformed, at least when first transforming. So it would have been nice to see something like that worked into the figure, just to kind of make up for its limited articulation. So personally, if you want a simple, or if you just want a nice and posable figure of Kamen Ghost, then I would probably wait for the SH Figuarts release. But if you want a ghost figure that can do the ghost changes, and so you don't have to buy one figure for each form, then I can recommend this. But with that being said, I think I'd only recommend this if you also plan to get the other Parka Ghosts, as I feel like that's really what's going to make the line worth it in the long run. So the figure itself is basically just your starter set for the rest of the line, as this is similar to the Arms Change series in that it's, base spheres and the forms kind of are pieces that equip onto them, but unlike Gaim, there aren't going to be quite as many riders, so it's mostly going to be the Parka Ghosts making up a majority of the Ghost Change series. So if you don't plan to buy a lot of the Parka Ghosts, then I can't really recommend buying into the Ghost Change series. But if you do plan to buy the figure and buy some of the Parka Ghosts, then I can definitely recommend this, as I do think that in the long run it's going to be fun having a lot of different Parka Ghosts for the different Ghost changes. So next time I'll be reviewing the Deluxe Gekiatsu Dio from Shuriken Sentai Nin Ninja. If you enjoyed this review, please leave a like, comment, or share it, and check me out on Facebook at facebook.com/KRX50. And for now, this is KRX50, writing off.